especially at the very end of episode 3, at the very end of that novel, where he says, he brings into the conversation of Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan communing with Qui-Gon, and that conversation that happens, and there's a little bit of a kind of the rest of the story there, and that's kind of all consistent, all of this kind of like this story that's kind of going on that we don't see on the screen. It's what the Force is doing, and it's what the Jedi are doing on the other side of death that really is to me becomes the story here. And then Rae and her either lack of faith or inability. I really see this as like, man versus self kind of conflict, where she's not able to tap into that, or she's not allowing herself to tap into that beyond death kind of, the netherworld of the Force and all of that kind of stuff. She's not able to tap into it yet.
Yeah.
So,
do you want me to kind of, like, in my notes, I kind of wrote down a couple of times where Luke is communing with Leia. Do you kind of want me to share what kind of the two, I guess, oomphs, the kind of the nudges, the pushes that Luke is giving to Leia?
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Let's kind of hash that out a bit.
Yeah, let's do it. So, like, at the beginning of the book, you hear Rae, and she knows that Leia hears Luke's voice once in a while, and she very much wants to hear it too. So I thought that was kind of neat that Rae knows that Leia can hear Luke. So then, as it moves on, I'm looking at in chapter 4. Again, I'm going with the hardcover. Luke is communing with Leia to give his saber, right, the one that was torn in half.
Right.
She worked on it, to give that to Rae, and nudging her to do that. And ultimately, we see that in the movie with the work that J.J. Abrams did and all that, and hands it. And you even see Maz giving the saber to Leia to give to Rae. So it's neat to see Maz as a part of this as well. Right. But I thought that was pretty neat, hearing Luke encouraging Leia to give that saber to Rae. The second part of Luke communing with Leia is him saying, I'm looking, I put my little things on chapter 11, page 145. You see Luke communing with Leia and saying, Leia, it's time.
Right.
And what he's talking about is getting her to make one last push to save Ben. Mm. And that was so incredible to read that. And
totally agree.
Oh my gosh. And so again, I don't know that that's going on, but that adds such a richness with Luke, wanting to help his nephew, and Leia struggling because, her response to Luke is like, there's so much more to do. Doesn't that sound like Leia?
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much more to do. And Luke is really trying to help her, like you said, Randy, from the other side. And so those were the two big pushes. And that's where, like you said, Randy, here's the Force working, I guess, to bring balance, to, have Ben be a part of this, go from Kylo to Ben and help Rae and defeat the big bad.
Right. And the tension is that Leia knows that her attempt to save Ben is going to consume the rest of who she is, and that will cause her death, and that she'll pass on pass on into the Force, and so she procrastinates, and she's putting it off for the right time, knowing that her last action will be reaching out to Ben and fighting for the redemption of her son. and that's juxtaposed with the responsibility to lead the resistance. And that's pretty clear too. And that when she says no, it's not time, there's still there's a progression there where she says no, there's still so much to do, and then she gets to the point where she says not yet, and then she gets to the point where the only thing she can do is go lay down, and even her last action is rubbing and holding on to that medal, that to Han Solo's rebellion medal, as she passes away. There's that progression of her moving from the responsibility and general of the resistance to now being a mother again, and then being a wife again, and then giving herself up to the cause of redeeming her son. And it's beautiful the way it's described in the book. It's beautiful in the movie too, but it's pretty emotional,
Oh my gosh. Well, and I, as you know, Randy, on many previous shows, Aaron and I have talked about how, gosh, it really feels like you could have two movies here, and they didn't want to split it into, part one and part two, but JJ had so much to put in there. And then when I think about these things that Rae Carson has added, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have loved this in the movie. And so I guess that's a good thing to see. But yeah, it was a tall task. And so getting a novel like this really, like I said, really makes the movie more vibrant, the story of episode 9, and really speaks to these big issues that we talk about in Star Wars, which is selfishness, selflessness, sacrifice, redemption, and stuff like that. And so that was really neat to see Luke helping Leia through that, and then for JJ to do what he could do on the big screen. It was really, really cool. So I guess, I was gonna, we were talking about good guys there, Leia and Luke and helping Ben. I have a question.
Okay.
And we can kind of bounce back and forth between good guys, bad guys, and all this, and the flow of the movie. So we know that Luke is trying to do this. So I wanted to get your guys' take on, Palpatine in his changing approach at the beginning of the movie when Kylo Ren uses the Wayfinder to get to Exegol, and he's talking to Palpatine, right? The book is the place that reveals he is a clone.
Right.
The movie does not, right?
Right.
We all remember, and I just watched it last night. The first thing he's telling Kylo is, kill the girl. You take my place. You be the head of all the Sith. And then I'm scrolling down, and I'm looking at from chapter 15 towards the end. There's 19 chapters in the hardcover.
Right.
The Emperor says to Rey, "I never wanted you dead." And then I wrote down, but what about what you told Kylo that you?
Yeah.
Of course.
Right. I think it's one of convenience. I think at first, which I've been working on this. This is debuting on Star Wars Reactions right now. Kill the girl. Right. So he says, "Kill the girl." So something there for you.
I love it.
So he says, "Kill the girl," until and again, there's that when Kylo is makes connection through the dark side of the Force, when he's on the Star Destroyer, they have another conversation, and the plan is still kill the girl. She has to end, and all this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden Rey's in front of him, and I think it's one of convenience to say, "I never meant to kill you." I wanted you to kill me, kind of thing, and I think it was just one of convenience. That does break a rule for me, because up until this point, I've held to the fact, or held to the idea, held on to the idea that the Sith deal only in absolutes, and that means that they don't lie. And I've not, having seen all the movies several times, I still hold to the fact that Sidious never lies through the whole thing. He tells the truth, but he just uses the truth to manipulate. He leaves information out, but he never lies. And this is the first time I feel where he sees Rae and he says, I didn't really mean to, like, gotcha. I didn't really mean for you to be killed. I really wanted you here with me, Empress. And I didn't buy it. That didn't fit the character of a Sith Lord to me, but it is what it is, and it's part of the story now. So yeah, I guess rules are meant to be broken, especially my own, like, head canon or whatever. But.
I know Aaron's quiet for a while. We're trying to save Aaron. We're carrying him tonight, people. He's a trooper. He's here tonight, but not 100%. Do you want to chime in, buddy? If not, we'll carry you, buddy.
No, y'all are doing such a great job, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I've been under the weather today, but I really wanted to hear this discussion, so I'm here hanging out, and y'all are doing a great job. David said it earlier, man. And we had this discussion several times, that this Rise of Skywalker should have easily been two separate movies. I think back to Hunger Games, The Mockingjay, they divided into two movies. This very easily could have done that and would have been incredible, especially with the additional detail that Rae Carson fed into the story. It would have been perfect, in my opinion. So, but no, y'all are doing a great job. I appreciate it. We are going to take just a real quick break. Then we'll come back and listen to what else y'all have to say about this incredible novel. I will say this, though: I do need to get my hands on it and finish it. I did find a new copy. It's on order. It should be here in a couple days. So I'm excited about that. So let's take this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Aaron here, and David and Randy are going through and really breaking down and analyzing, doing a tremendous job analyzing the novelization of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker by Rae Carson. Tremendous novel, tremendous book, and a great discussion. So, David, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yeah, Randy and I were just talking about Palpatine, and I was just processing that during the break. I agree with Randy. I think at the beginning of the movie, when Kylo gets there, and I was just again watching it last night, and I see Kylo light up his lightsaber and point it right at the Emperor's face. The Emperor's probably thinking, look, if you can take her out, do it. And then I'll have you come here and cut me down, and then me and all the Sith will be in Kylo Ren. When it doesn't play out that way, and the light comes back and takes over Kylo, here's the Emperor being opportunistic, saying, well, actually, this is probably better that you're not dead, because I need you to strike me down. I need to go into you. I'm a clone. My body cannot, the power of the Emperor cannot be held by these inferior clones that have been made. And so I thought that was fascinating. I have a question for Randy, and this can keep the conversation going here, because I know we've jumped to the end here and there's some other stuff we can kind of highlight. But Randy, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about the movie or even the book here on this part, but it's interesting to me that the Emperor doesn't know that they're a dyad, right? Because, again, I think your take fits because, and I don't know if it's the Force keeping it from the Emperor about the dyad of Ben and Rae, because then when he learns that, it's exactly what you said. It's, opportunity. I'm opportunistic.